I want to tell you about a car I picked up recently. This is a 1931 Ford Model A Roadster. And this car was given a little bit of a mild custom treatment in the middle 1950s. And then the guy got married and he had kids and life gets in the way, right? So the car, as far as we know, hasn't really been on the road regularly since the early 1960s, and it probably hasn't really been driven at all since at least the 1990s. So the odometer says 39,975 miles. It could be 139, we just don't know. But anyway, I'm going to take you through this car. It hasn't been cleaned. It's basically an untouched barn find. I know that term is used way too much, but in this case it's really true. In fact, come on, let me give you a tour. We're going to start inside the car. So you can see it's a little bit ratty inside, but it's all there. The only real damage is the floorboards and the floor mat, and we haven't taken those out yet. The car does have a fresh battery in it, and we've got power. She turns over. In fact, this car runs, drives, and stops. Now, back in the 50s, when this car got its mild custom job, that included this Naugahyde interior, and the seat's actually pretty comfortable. It's got springs. I think it's the original seat, just recovered. Look at the top frame and the wooden bows. They're in great shape. Here's the dashboard. Pretty simple. You got a speedometer, an odometer, and an ammeter. It's hard to see, but there's a little light under here, and that is to illuminate the dashboard because the gauges themselves aren't internally illuminated. There's a lot going on the floor in terms of controls. On the steering column, you've got your ignition advanced retard lever here. And on the other side, this is a hand throttle. Right here, you got your headlight switch. And in the middle, you got your horn button. Okay, let's look under the hood. So you can see it's pretty basic under the hood of a Model A. It's a 4-cylinder motor. There's your starter. There's your steering column and box. And then, of course, here's your generator. Only 2 blades on the fan. So we got this little fuel tank hanging connected to the carburetor so the car can run. The main fuel tank is dirty inside, and we need to clean it out really well, but fortunately it's not rusty. And this looks pretty ugly here, but really that's just surface rust there. A lot of this old lacquer paint is flaking off. There might be a rust hole there right behind that paint, not quite sure. Feels pretty solid though. All right, let's close this up and I'll show you the other side. The Model A engine is 200 cubic inches. It's good for about 40 horsepower and speeds up to 65, although that's probably pretty optimistic for 90% of the Model A's on the road. But you can hop them up a little. You know, there's period speed equipment like Winfield cylinder heads and a whole bunch of different intake manifolds, carburetors, and you can get modern distributors for these that are electronic, but they look like the real deal. The carburetor on this car is off of a 1928. So this is a late 31, but anyway, this car doesn't have its original carburetor, but other than that, it's pretty much untouched. I'd say quite a bit of the original green Ford paint cooked off this engine a long time ago, although once we clean her up, I think we're gonna find a fair amount left. And by the way, look at that radiator. It's pretty clean. Even the data plate on the firewall is in really good shape. And of course, the car has a mother-in-law seat. Right here in the corners of the rumble seat lid are the only spots of rust that we can really find. And it's a weird place to rust. You can see the car is dirty, but that body is really straight. You know, these cars are so simple, and it's a great way to learn about cars. So we're going to be doing a lot of that in my family with this project. And basically the plan is to get this thing running just right, clean and safe, but pretty much leave it untouched other than that. I mean, I could put some vintage speed equipment on it at some point, but I'd rather just live with it, factory stock for a little while, and see how I like it. And I'm probably gonna want more speed and performance, but mainly I bought this car just to cruise around and have fun. So I really don't think we're gonna go full hot rod, but it's pretty early to tell. I gotta say, it's really comfortable in here, and even though the seats are kind of stiff, it's like sitting on a couch, and the body's narrow, but you know, you hang your arm out the window and I don't know, it just fits. All right, once you get through the dust, look, the paint's still shiny. She's gonna clean up really well. So the car's got 40 Ford wheels and brand new Coker Firestones, and I love that stance. We did put water in the radiator earlier. It's definitely rusty, and there's some scale and whatnot, but we'll clean it up. Here's the inside of the fuel tank. I've seen a lot worse. I love the pinstriping on the car. It's like an apple green color, really cool. Now, one part that's obviously missing are the cowl lights. There should be one on each side of the cowl. I'm guessing they got taken off because they just aren't that cool on a hot rod. All right, that's all for now, but we got more to come with this 31 Ford Model A Roadster, so like and subscribe and watch as we clean her up and get her back on the road. Shut up, crows. Anyway, thanks for watching.